All right, good afternoon. What's poppin'? It's your boy Big Rich, Queens, New York City, where we get busy, warm and sticky, curfew at 8 o'clock. Let's see what happens tonight. The streets are on fire. But we still got to conduct business as usual. We're going to take a break from the Stephen Creer story. We'll come back tomorrow with part 8. But today, let's do another mob story. Right out the pages of About the Mafia. Salute to the new boss. 1976 FBI document details Carlo Gambino's fear for the future of the mafia. And he was right. An FBI document that was filed away nearly 45 years ago is a valuable record of a vote held in 1976 by the New York's ruling mob commission. For the first time in 2 decades, they are discussing admitting new members. Carlo Gambino's fear that this will lead to informants infiltrating the organization is well documented. He clearly saw the threat new members posed to his multi-million-dollar empire. The boss of bosses was, however, overruled by the head of the Lucchese, Bonanno, and Colombo families. Gambino's fears, as we know, ended up being quite perceptive and right on the money. The very same year, infamous FBI undercover agent Joe Pistone took on the persona of Donnie Brasco and infiltrated the Bonanno family. Meanwhile, during the same time period, the Gambino family inducted someone they would later regret, Sammy the Bull Gravano, who would become a witness for the prosecution some 15 years later, taking down the infamous John Gotti along with 38 members. A disgracia. The February 17, 1976 document, a memo sent to the FBI director J. Edgar Hoover, said, quote, source states Gambino adamantly opposed new membership for fear of informant penetration. However, he was outvoted 4-1 and reluctantly agreed to go along with the proposal of 10 new members, each for the 5 families. Sources speculated that if Gambino had been able to persuade one other La Cosa Nostra boss to oppose the proposal, he would have been in a position to delay or prevent implementation, unquote. If there is one thing we can learn from all of this, is that the FBI must have already had a mole inside the mafia, or this document and knowledge of what was said at the meeting simply wouldn't exist. The document has come to light now due to a Freedom of Information Act request. It has been suggested by mob experts that Gambino, who rose to power by arranging the 1957 hit of Albert Anastasia, and who died only 8 months after losing the vote at the 1976 meeting, opposed the recruitment of new members due to his distrust of American-born mobsters and his continued craving to always benefit his own family. Ex-head of the FBI's Gambino squad, Bruce Mao, said some of the old-timers didn't like the new guys, the Americans, when people got made. They didn't trust the new generation. They liked the old paisans. It's the dinosaur theory. They didn't like anything new. American journalist, author of 5 Families, and former investigative reporter Selwyn Robb agreed but also offered an alternative, albeit more selfish motive. Quote, he had the largest family. What does he care about the Bonannos, the Colombos, and the others? But the mustached Petes had to make room. Every generation distrusts the upcoming mafia members. The idea was Gambino felt the whole school of wannabes couldn't be trusted. Reports of the time suggested that opening of the books was given the green light by the National Mob Board. The FBI memo implies that it was at a meeting called by the Gambinos where the heads of the New York 5 families made the decision. According to the report, the Colombo family, reeling from a drawn-out civil war against the Joseph Crazy Joe Gallo faction, quickly inducted 10 men on February 5, 1976. Included in these new members was Thomas Shorty Spiro, who was murdered 4 years later by the same Genovese associate who would eventually testify against his boss, Vincent the Chin Gigante. The memo also said that all of the above-named individuals are now Goodfellas, members of La Cosa Nostra, and recognized as such by all families. A note reads, quote, extremely sensitive and not to be disseminated outside Bureau under any circumstances at this time to prevent compromise of sources. So first of all, Carlo Gambino had it right. A lot of the new school gangsters they weren't made from the same cloth. You know what I'm saying? First of all, salute to the new boss. Great article about the mafia. You already know how we get down. Mob Story Season 2. Like, comment, share. Gentlemen, let me know what you're smoking on. I just lit up a little bit of Thin Mints mixed with a little bit of Triangle Kush. Delicious. Salute, and we will talk soon.